A German engineer got banned from using his own name on his own car company, so he translated it into Latin instead. And that word is now on driveways in every country on Earth. The badges on these cars aren't just logos. They're scars, second acts, and sibling rivalries. Here's the real story of the 6 most powerful names in automotive history. Every time you see a Mercedes hood ornament, a spinning BMW badge, or 4 silver rings on an Audi, you're looking at the end result of a human story, usually one involving rejection, reinvention, or an almost impossible bet. We're not talking about the cars. We're talking about the people who had to exist first, before the car ever could. And the pattern that connects all 6 of them is more relevant to your own life than you'd expect. Chapter 1. Rolls-Royce in 1904 in a hotel in Manchester. A wealthy young aristocrat named Charles Rolls sat down with a self-taught engineer named Henry Royce. Rolls sold cars to the British elite. Royce built engines so quiet and so precise that Rolls had never experienced anything like them. Neither man had what the other had. Rolls had access to money, to status, to the exact customers who could afford perfection. Royce had obsession, the kind that refuses to ship a product until it's flawless. Together, in one meeting, they created what would become the best car in the world. Notice what's missing from that story: luck. What's present instead is complementary obsession, 2 different kinds of relentlessness aimed at the same target. Chapter 2. Mercedes-Benz now go back further to the 1880s, before car was even a word people used casually. 2 German engineers, Karl Benz and Gottlieb Daimler, were racing toward the same invention without ever meeting. Benz built what's now recognized as the first true automobile in 1886. Daimler, almost simultaneously, was building his own version of the same idea. They were rivals. They never worked together. And yet, decades after both had died, their companies merged in 1926 to form Daimler-Benz, the birth of Mercedes-Benz as we know it. 2 men, convinced they were each inventing the future alone, ended up permanently sharing a nameplate. Sometimes, your fiercest competitor becomes half of your legacy, whether you intended it or not. Chapter 3. BMW's story starts somewhere you wouldn't expect. Aircraft engines. In 1916, the company that would become BMW was building engines for World War I fighter planes. Then Germany lost the war, and the Treaty of Versailles banned German aircraft engine production entirely. Overnight, the company's entire purpose was illegal, so they pivoted, first to motorcycles, then to cars, using the exact same precision engineering that once powered fighter planes. BMW didn't choose the automobile industry. The automobile industry was the only door left open, and they walked through it so well that engineering precision became the entire brand identity over a century later. Chapter 4. Audi August Horch founded his own car company, literally named Horch, in 1899. It should have been the story of his life's work. Instead, his own board forced him out in a dispute. Most people, at that point, would have left the industry entirely humiliated. Horch didn't. He immediately started a new company. But legally, he couldn't use his own name again. A rival was still using Horch. So he translated his surname into Latin. Horch means listen in German. The Latin word for listen is Audi. He didn't just start over, he turned his own rejection into the name on the badge. Every Audi on the road today is, quite literally, the second act of a man who got fired from his own company. Chapter 5. Tesla's story is usually told as one man's vision, but the full truth is more interesting. Tesla was founded in 2003 by two engineers, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Elon Musk joined a year later as the company's lead investor and chairman, becoming CEO in 2008. The same year, both Tesla and his other company, SpaceX, were weeks from total collapse. He personally poured what remained of his fortune into keeping both alive. They survived, barely. And from that near collapse, Tesla became the company that forced every legacy automaker on this list, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, to build electric vehicles of their own. The founders started it. The person who nearly went broke saving it is who most of the world associates with it today. Chapter 6. Toyota. Our final name didn't start in cars at all. It started in looms. Sakichi Toyoda invented an automatic, weaving loom so advanced that its patent sale funded his son. Kichiro's next move entirely, founding Toyota Motor Corporation in 1937, the manufacturing discipline built for textiles, precision, waste elimination, continuous improvement, became the foundation of what's now called the Toyota Production System, studied in business schools worldwide. Toyota didn't invent the car. They perfected how to build it at a scale and consistency no one else could match, using a philosophy inherited from an entirely different industry. 6 brands. 6 completely different starting points. An aristocrat and an engineer, 2 rival inventors, a banned industry, a public firing, a near bankruptcy, and a father's loom patents. Not one of these 6 stories started with certainty. Every one of them started with a constraint, a rejection, or a rivalry. And the response to that moment is the entire brand you recognize today. The badge was never really about the car. It was about what the founder refused to quit on. Which founder story surprised you the most? Tell me in the comments. And if you want the next one, the empires that collapsed instead of survived, subscribe, because that story hits even harder.